Oh, damn. Look at these trolls, man. This is crazy. This raid is so good so far. It's crazy good. Like Pop-Tarts, man. It's wild. Look at this shit. The history of the troll tribes, the Drukari, the Ferrari, the Armani, and the Guruboshu is awash with millennia of betrayal and conflict. But the Zandalari's promise of a new unstoppable empire has finally united these desperate troll leaders who all die at once, and that promise of a new empire is fucking ended by a guild every single week for the next 6 months. Anyway, how awesome this fight is beyond recollection. There is a lot more to do as a DPS than there is as a healer, but we are going to have a look at it. Okay, it's take place in this room, obviously. We'll go through it. I have live footage if you haven't been following the series. We'll look at that in a bit, but just realize this is not a DPS or tanking or like general raid strategy guide. This is exclusively for healers who are, the groups that they're in. They perform the fight properly. They know the fight, and this is as my opinions and perspective is the word I'm looking for there, in order to help you guys maximize your ability and play style. So there's not a whole lot I have to say, to be honest with you. I think we're just going to get right into the live stuff. I'm trying to think. I just realized that's the mount tab. Just realized that the Garajal thing, he's going to make one of them empowered. Our group has pretty boisterous DPS, but we still, every once in a while, one of them did get to 100. So it's probably going to happen. You should. I won't say you should prepare for it, because that would be dumb to say, because you shouldn't. You should be able to get through it without it. But the first time you kill this fight, it's probably going to happen at least once. And if it does, you just need to, that's going to be a good time to save your cooldowns and use it. But yeah, let's go look at the live stuff, and we'll see. There's really not to worry about as a healer, but let's have a look. What this is a great fight. What the fuck are we waiting for? I don't know. You guys are wasting time here. Just let's go. Okay, here we go. We got the live footage coming in now. Right off the bat, you'll see the frostbite, or whatever that's called, depending on which phase you're in. Now, if it's the stack one, if it's time to stack up to reduce the stacks, obviously you'll have to make an executive decision. The person will probably have to make a choice. But as a healer, from that perspective, I like to say I don't want to be involved, because I'd rather actually just heal the people involved than participate myself. But you'll see here I'm kind of indecisive about it, and ultimately I kind of just leave, because I think then it transitions, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. But now, and then you see there he ice blocks. That's something else I want to bring up. As a paladin healer, you can bubble that off and just essentially remove it from the fight. I don't know if Bop takes it off as well. I doubt it does, but I think that's the only option probably they can get rid of it. Definitely bop that off if you are a paladin healer. 9-minute clip. I don't know if I could talk this long, to be honest with you. There's really not. See right there, that rooted. That is one thing that a healer will have to worry about as well. That is the sand guy's going to put out a trap, and he's going to root you in that. I think it's called quicksand, if I remember correctly. And he's going to trap you in it. He's going to snare you in it, and somebody's going to have to dispel you. Otherwise, you will likely die in there, because it does damage to you. But to be honest with you, it's a really, really, really cool and interesting fight. But from a healing perspective, it's not basic by any means, but there's nothing that you really can predict. Once again, it's strange. Just have a look at the footage here, see if I can find anything that really needs to be talked about. But as I did say, it's unfortunate, but you're probably going to have to heal through some enrage at one point, especially if this is your first kill. I mean, this was meant to be done in, if I remember correctly, 508 eye level, so that's an entire raid in 508. That's not very realistic. Not a lot of guilds in full 508 that even need these types of guides, are there? But just be aware that you'll likely have to do that type of healing at some point, depending on your first kill. That roll there, that hits a lot of people, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like right there, you see it roll through like all the melee. Look at all those people taking damage. Yeah, that's almost unavoidable, to be honest with you, because he's just going to pick the melee. He's going to, it's going to pick the highest density of mobs, or highest density of players half the time, just based on statistical, averages, basically. And he's going to roll towards them, and then he's going to roll away from them, because he's going to pick them again, and then he's going to roll back. You see, it literally just goes towards the melee every single time here for, look at that. Yep, well, now he's kind of going towards that mage. Yeah, he's hit the mage. It's probably fucking Simo. Oh, and now he's picked the melee again. You see that? So it's literally just... I mean, people are going to get hit by that. The same mechanic over and over again, targeting the same group, is really hard to deal with, even though they know it's going to happen. Now, the sandstorm's happening here. There's going to be the ads. As a healer, look at how much damage we're taking, too. So that is definitely a time... that sandstorm bit, that is definitely a time where you want to prepare cooldowns, aura mastery. Bubble's probably not going to be too effective from a Discipline Priest. Tranquility and revitalization or whatever are definitely... the monk and the druid are having a good role on this one. Paladins, I guess aura mastery's pretty strong, but... And then there you see the sand trap piled up under the melee, so once again, lost a few people that honestly they should avoid it, but it's so difficult when you have that many people and there's a mechanic that can target the melee like that. It's just devastating. Excuse me, but yeah, so it looks like, I mean, from here it's pretty steady. Like I said, there's not a lot of prediction to be made from a healing perspective, so I'm not sure there's even that much to discuss. But those elementals, the sand elementals, if you remember, I love that model. That is definitely one of the coolest models in the game. But the sand elementals are going to run around like madmen. They need to be killed. But as a healer, you're likely going to run... They'll follow you. Let's put it that way. They're going to aggro the healers. Every time they came out, they always picked either me or the other paladin. So you should bring them to the tank. That's for sure. In terms of pots, pre-pots, stuff... Well, not pre-pots. But in terms of concentration potions... Anytime really is good, but the problem I think you'll see here at some point in the footage is that I blow one, but then he fucking charges through me, and then I don't even get it all. It's the gamble you wanna try to avoid. But you could try to avoid it by just kind of like running all the way to the back of the room or something like that, if possible. If you're really that hard pressed on mana and you can't risk having to move, but if he hits you with that thing, you're probably gonna die. I mean, it depends, I guess, but. See there, I got rooted. Somebody dispelled me, moved out of it. Good healers. Smart, the dispel's got to be quick. Boom, boom, boom. Fucking dispel. Boom. Look at that shit, dude. That's crazy shit, dude. Oh, another really, really important thing as a healer. Now, this may sound like the DPS or tank's job, but as a healer, there's a few specs that should be really, really good at this, okay? The little spirits that they summon that either target a person or the boss... They cannot get to the respective target, okay? So they need to be stunned or slowed. Anything like that works, okay? So paladins, I have a lot of we could do the blind if you really want to cast it, but Hammer of Justice works. Monks could do the AoE spin kick thingy. That works as well, but it is definitely something that you'll want to do as a healer because if it's targeting another player, then they're going to die if it hits them, first of all. So that is obviously more effective than just trying to heal them. And second of all, it's something that the DPS say they're going to do, but when push comes to shove, if it's not close to them, they're not going to run all the way over there and stun it, right? Because realistically, your tanking is going to look just like it does now. You see how the ad... Yeah, there's one spawn right there. It's being attacked now. They are very far away from the set of bosses, and that's for a very good reason. But, the DPS are going to switch to it, but they're not going to fucking run over there and stun it as soon as possible. So as a healer, you don't really have position requirements or focus requirements, to be honest with you. So you can just stand close to it and stun it as soon as it comes out, and that makes everybody else's job 10 times easier. Look at that right there. You see that stun? We overlapped him a bit there, but still got the hammer up on him, and then somebody death gripped it, knocked it back, stunned it again. Yeah, easy mode. You know what I mean? When you give your DPS some buffer time like that, like my stun gave the DPS a few seconds to get over there, and then they're going to go nuts on it and death grip it and knock it around and shit like that. So putting that in the hands of your DPS, giving them a few seconds like that is fundamental, in my opinion. It adds a lot to the healers. You could also try to interrupt. See, I'm pretty sure that's me with that now. No, that's Alto. He's got that shit, doesn't he? That's the one that you're not supposed to stack for, and we are stacking like retards, if I remember correctly. And I can't tell by the visual. But at one point, you'll see me bubble it off. I think the next one that goes out, I bubble off. But yeah, this is a great fight. This really, really is. I don't have much to say, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of predictive healing. Just as I said, that roll is definitely going to get people every once in a while, so you should be ready for that. Just kind of use your cooldowns when you feel like you need to, but otherwise, just be prepared for some damage that's not supposed to happen, but probably will, just because your first few kills are going to be a bit messy. So I think that's about it. I feel like I should be talking for the entirety of these videos, but I don't know what else to say. If you have any questions, let me know. What do you guys think of these first few fights? What do you think about these? These are amazing, in my opinion. These are some of the better fights I've ever played, and they're only the first 3 in this raid. Very, very, very well done raid, in my opinion. So that's it. We'll let this wrap up, and if you have any questions, like I said, please do ask. It's more of a discussion than a guide, to be honest with you, at this point. So, and look forward to the next few fights coming out soon.